film under 27 hours. This movie was directed by the legendary Danny Boyle, the director of Slumdog Millionaire, Trainspotting, and 28 Days Later. It stars James Franco in the lead role, in which the plot centered towards because this movie was inspired by the true story of Aaron Wilson, who famously on April 26, 2003 went on a hike in Lujan Canyon, Utah, when all of a sudden a 800-pound boulder fell on his arm, resulting in his arm being completely amputated after 6 days of survival solitude. Now I'm going to answer some questions. Was this movie entertaining, and in what way? This movie itself was entertaining as if you were watching a survival movie, but however, the film uses Danny Boyle uses flashbacks to make his viewers understand that if you were in a situation, this would be a life or death defining moment, because in the movie he kind of uses flashbacks and hallucinations to create the illusion that to build up the tension between the viewer and the character, and I guess you could say, in a sense, it felt like when he was building up the tension, it made you really think that for the person it was based off of, this must have been a very big life-defining moment. And question number 2, in what genre does it fall under? So I guess you could say this film falls under adventure / thriller, since the movie was largely accurate to the events it portrayed, and certain scenes were exaggerated, such as the scenes that I previously mentioned, where Danny Boyle uses hallucinations to build up the tension, because in reality, Aaron Wilson did have hallucinations, though, however, he claimed that they were only centered towards his survival, because he believed that if he stayed there, then he was gonna eventually die. And I guess you could say this makes those scenes much more harder to stomach, because he exaggerated them to create that dramatic effect where as if you were in his situation. And question number 3, what was the movie like? The movie felt like as if you were watching events fold in real time, because in reality Ralston did create videos, but however, like I mentioned, some scenes were exaggerated. It's not exaggerated, though it perfectly worked out in the film, because in reality, Ralston did not make his videos like as if he were talking in a talk show. He made them as if they were distress signals to his parents, so that way he could eventually be freed. But due to the lack of Wi-Fi within the area, unfortunately, it resulted in its brutal outcome. And part 4, and now question 4. What was the best part of the movie? I personally thought that the climax scene was the best scene in the film, since, though, like I previously mentioned, exaggerated, Danny Boyle also uses POV shots and in extreme close-ups, using both practical and both practical effects, and I guess you could say he doesn't just use practical effects, but he also successfully uses it with CGI in order to make viewers understand that, like, this was Aaron Wilson's life-defining moment. And yes, it was grim, but it kind of, in a sense, teaches you how survival in its most extreme times. Because, as mentioned, in this film is a biography, and as the movie goes on, like in reality, Wilson, James Franco, starts recording his journey to escape, which was depicted in the film, and in his real life memoir, Between a Rock and a Hard Place. The one inaccuracy was, like I previously mentioned, how he recorded his videos, and I apologize, I keep repeating the same thing. It's just like, this movie kind of felt like, this movie, to describe it, is set in one place, so it kind of feels like, as tension is building with the character, like, there's not as many words to describe it. And question number 5, what rating would I give out of 10 in 2 to 3 sentences? If I were to rate this movie out of 10, I would give it a 9.5, because it did a good job at making people understand like I previously mentioned, the most extreme of survival situations, when you have nobody around you and you are the only one there, and how that can impact your survival methods. And that's all for today, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and please comment below which movies I should review next. And I love you guys, and see you all next time. Alright? Bye.